Now, there's some bad news for low-income residents in Oklahoma. Governor Mary Fallin has signed into law a flat-out ban on raising the minimum wage and ensuring that workers do not get paid sick days and vacation time. The state's current minimum wage, of course, has been set at $7.25, the federal minimum. In 2012, 64,000 workers in the state earned $7.25 an hour or less, because there are people who make less than the minimum wage. Those are your tipped workers that make like $2 an hour, and that makes up 7.2% of all hourly workers in the state. Now, that's actually a larger share than the 4.7% figure for the country, for America as a whole. And that's all fine and dandy, of course, in Fallin's world, where she, of course, makes all the big bucks and gets money from corporations that lobby to keep her from passing minimum wage increases, and I guess they were successful. What do you guys think about this?
Well, for me, she's quoted as saying that she's worried that if companies are forced to pay workers a higher wage, then these companies are going to move out of state, and it's going to be bad for the overall economy in the state. But the counter-argument to that is that if other states start paying their workers more, and considerably more, because if you're earning $7.25 an hour, or if some state starts paying $12.50 an hour, then a lot of your constituency and the people in your state are going to move out of your state, and they're going to stop paying state taxes, they're going to stop, so that's going to negatively affect your economy. It just seems, I can understand if she just had come out and said, I think that the state wage or the minimum wage should kind of stay the same. That, it's a stupid argument. I know it doesn't make any economic sense. But if she said that, okay, fine, she's a Republican, I'll get over that. But the fact that she's trying to ban any raises in the minimum wage, that's just taking it to a whole new level of kind of morality and just evilness as well. Like, why? Why do you want to do it? Her economic arguments have been debunked so many times.
And to get to your point about people moving out of the state, I really don't think that people making $7.25 an hour can afford to move out of the state, and so they're sort of trapped in that poverty trap, and that's really what it is. Look, people want to talk about poverty traps and how government gets you into the trap. It's not getting paid a fair wage that gets you into the trap. A lot of these people, and Sean will probably point this out, when people who make so little money because of the minimum wage being so low nowadays compared to everything else, government ends up subsidizing these people. The taxpayer ends up subsidizing the corporations that don't want to pay these wages so that these people will get on government assistance. And congratulations, Mary Fallin, you just codified that. You made sure that the taxpayer will always be subsidizing these corporations. Way to go.
Yeah, she's quoted as most minimum wage workers are young, single people working part-time, and many of them are high school or college students. But it's complete bullshit. It's like nearly 90% of workers are over 20. The average age is 35. And then most of the half of those people work full-time. It goes in with your poverty trap. It's like they can't get out. They're stuck here until they retire, even if they could retire. Yeah, she's just trapping everyone in her state. It's going to negatively affect her in Oklahoma.
All right, Sean, what do you think?
I'm actually slightly confused about what this law does. Does this law forbid the federal minimum wage from affecting her state, or does it forbid the legislature from enacting a future minimum wage increase? Because either one isn't going to work or doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is that no matter what, it doesn't make any sense, and it's sort of, I think it's a little bit of a slap in the face, really, and I think it's meant to be a slap in the face. Like, yeah, Obama's going to try and raise the minimum wage. He's on the stump. Well, I'm going to show him, and I'm going to show my right-wing constituents and my corporate donors that I'm not going to stand for that. we talked yesterday about passing stupid, unenforceable laws, right? I think this is sort of another one. Like, this is a stupid, symbolic law, and it's all
Yeah,
about playing politics.
and it's dumb politics. Like if you don't want to raise the minimum wage, just don't raise it. Don't actively pass a law saying I will never raise the minimum wage
But
because I'm a badass. Like that's just horrible politics.
it's actually good politics if you're trying to court the right wing, the extreme right wing that hate the poor, that hate giving, helping poor people, which ironically they would help poor people a lot more than giving them government assistance.
But I mean, the thing is as well is that obviously all of these Republicans want to look out for for the small local businesses, and by passing this bill, she's imposed her will onto local businesses. It seems, in saying that you are not allowed to pay your workers anymore. So the local business owners, they should be really pissed about this. Whether or not they want to pay their workers any more or any less, it should be their choice. The government shouldn't be able to choose for them. And also, it's not just banning any raises in the minimum wage. It's kind of banning the fact that companies no longer have to enforce kind of sick days or vacation. Like they're no longer requirements. She doesn't think that these companies should be obliged to give their workers any vacation or any sick days whatsoever. That's just ridiculous. I can understand people maybe maybe agreeing with a minimum wage kind of ban decrease, even though that's not going to work. But the whole kind of banning on sick day and holiday leave requirements, everyone should be up in arms about that, because that's possibly the stupidest part about this bill.
Well, it goes to the mindset of they want you to work pretty much until you die. I mean, that's the whole thing. They don't want you to take time off because that will impact productivity, which, by the way, being at work while you're sick, that also destroys productivity. It's actually, you're more productive when you're well, obviously, and when you're healthy. And so, being sick at work actually costs you productivity, but they don't think about that, because all they're thinking about is how can we help our rich corporate donors, how can we help these big businesses that we are subsidizing, how much more can we do for them?
Yeah, and what's weird is the banning the 6 days. Does that mean that no company can ever give you a paid sick day, or they just don't have to? Like, it just seems like this is kind of overreachy for me. Like,
I think the banning on sick days is that it's no longer, companies aren't required to have it. Like currently they have to have at least some provision for sick days and vacation days. Whereas now, if a company wanted to, in a worker's contract, there could be no provision for sick days or holiday leave. So she's basically saying, yeah, companies can do what they want in regards to that.
That also makes no sense, because if you're working in food service, which a lot of these people are, do you really want your employees coming to work sick and coughing in your fries and in your hamburger? I mean, that's disgusting. And actually, if somebody is really sick, and I don't know, maybe if you get some of your customers sick or enough of them, you could be facing a lawsuit. I know that's kind of reaching and like out there, but it is a possibility.
Yeah, it's a ban on paid sick days, so I don't know if there'll still be a requirement for 6 days. They just might not be paid. Yeah, it's just bad business on their part, I think, for this to happen.